Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain Blacklight. This movie tells a story of a Vietnam War veteran who works off the books directly for the FBI director as a fixer, extracting undercover agents in unstable or tricky situations, and other complex jobs the director assigns him to do. When he is assigned to carry out a mission by the director, he becomes involved in a conspiracy that puts his family's safety at risk. His daughter and granddaughter are kidnapped. Can he uncover the truth behind the conspiracy and save his family back? Let's find out in Blacklight. Blacklight begins by showing a female political activist named Sophia Flores, delivering her speech on gender and racial equality at a rally in Washington, D.C. All levels of society who listened to Sophia's speech seemed so enthusiastic and fully supported her brilliant ideas. When Sophia was about to return to her house in the afternoon, suddenly a car hit her from behind, and the car driver immediately fled from the scene. The scene then switches and shows a man named Travis Block. Travis is a Vietnam War veteran tasked with protecting FBI agents on an undercover mission. Travis is on his way to fulfilling his duty to protect an FBI agent named Helen Davidson. Arriving there, he is surprised by the gangsters who have surrounded Helen's residence, because they want to take revenge on Helen for accidentally killing one of their members. Travis immediately thought fast and devised a plan to distract the gangsters by making a big explosion elsewhere to easily secure Helen and take her away from there. After successfully rescuing Helen, Travis rushed to report his mission to his superior, FBI Director Gabriel Robinson. According to Robinson, although Travis has accomplished his task, Helen has failed due to her reckless behavior. Afterwards, Travis met his daughter, Amanda, and his granddaughter, Natalie, attending Natalie's friend's birthday party. Amanda has divorced her husband because he was caught cheating on her. Travis then expressed his desire to retire from his job and spend more time with Amanda and Natalie. However, Amanda did not accept her father's wishes because she thought that her father would always prioritize work and could not be a good father and grandfather figure for herself and Natalie. After all, Travis's job was always challenging and threatening the safety of life. Travis tries to convince Amanda that he can change, but she felt irritated with her father instead. The scene then switches and shows a woman named Mira Jones arguing with her co-worker, a man named Drew, about the cause of death of female activist Sophia Flores. She assumes that Sophia's death was a premeditated murder. In contrast, Drew assumes that her death was a murder accident. Elsewhere, two police officers were seen ticketing a man named Dusty Crane for parking carelessly and carrying a gun. However, when the policemen were about to secure Crane, he attacked them instead, resulting in a fierce fight. Finally, several policemen arrested him and threw him into prison. Travis then meets Crane in prison, and it is revealed that Crane is an undercover FBI agent. He looked panicked and confused when Travis came there to pick him up. After Travis manages to free Crane from prison, he plans to take him before Robinson. But before that, he asked Crane to stop by the school to pick up Natalie. Once there, Travis handcuffs Crane while he goes there to meet Natalie. On the other hand, Crane tries to open his handcuffs with the help of a boy. Amanda then picks up her daughter, so Travis decides to leave. However, Travis was shocked when he discovered that Crane had escaped and fled by driving a stolen truck. Travis was rushing his car to catch Crane, and a chase between them was inevitable. While on the run, Crane contacts Mira Jones and informs her that he has important information regarding the cause of Sophia Flores' death. Since the information was too dangerous to reveal over the phone, he asked her to meet him in front of Mira's office. Because Crane was unable to control the truck, he had an accident that caused the truck to roll over on the road. However, he managed to survive and rushed to meet Mira, waiting for him. On the other hand, Travis tries to catch up to Crane and sees him with Mira Jones. However, Crane immediately fled as soon as he saw Travis' appearance, and Travis lost track of him. Travis then goes to Robinson and tells him about Crane's suspicious behavior by meeting a female journalist named Mira Jones. He then expressed his desire to retire to Robinson, and he agreed as long as Travis was willing to do one last task, namely to arrest Crane because he was considered a traitor. Travis then went to Mira and asked her to report if Crane had contacted her. At first, Mira refused to cooperate, but after finding out that Travis was an FBI agent, she didn't seem to be moving either. The next day, Travis installed a CCTV camera in front of Amanda's house. However, knowing this, Amanda didn't like her father's actions. Instead, she asked him not to come to see her and Natalie too often because she worried their safety would be threatened because of Travis' work. Unbeknownst to Travis, Robinson apparently sent two male FBI agents named Jordan and Wallace to kill Crane. That evening, When Crane returns to his hiding place to retrieve a flash drive containing important information, he is surprised by the appearance of Jordan and Wallace there, who immediately attack him. Luckily, he managed to escape from them by jumping over the fence. The next day, Mira received a call from Crane asking her to meet him somewhere. She rushed there riding her motorbike. However, unbeknownst to her, Travis, who had been watching her for a long time, secretly followed her. He followed her into a building, where Mira and Crane were seen in a crowd of visitors, and they were having a serious conversation. However, upon seeing Travis's appearance, Crane immediately tried to escape and attacked the security officers. Crane and Travis then got into a fierce fight behind the building until he finally escaped by jumping over the fence. Travis tries to convince Crane to surrender because he will be severely punished if he disobeys Robinson's orders. But Crane doesn't seem to care and says he's tired of following Robinson's orders to kill innocent people. Hearing this, Travis looked confused and didn't understand what he meant. However, before Crane had time to explain further, suddenly Jordan and Wallace appeared and shot him, killed him, and then took the flash drive he had brought. There was a shootout between Travis and the two FBI agents before they finally left. While attending Crane's funeral, Robinson asks Travis to stay focused on his work and reveal what Crane is trying to dismantle. Travis then goes to Mira and asks about the information provided by Crane. Mira said that Crane mentioned the Unity operation, a covert operation to kill civilians who tried to oppose the policies of the United States government. Travis seemed surprised to hear that, as he had never known about the Unity operation that Robinson was leading. He then told Mira that he and Robinson were good friends and served in Vietnam. When they finally retired, Robinson's political career skyrocketed, and he became director of the FBI while Travis became unemployed. Robinson then pulled Travis out of his slump and hired him as an FBI special agent tasked with protecting FBI agents on undercover missions. Travis's life gradually improved, and he was deeply indebted to Robinson for it. However, Travis never knew about Operation Unity, which in fact killed innocent people for Robinson's personal gain, and he would demand an explanation from his best friend. The next day, Travis goes to Robinson and asks about Operation Unity. Unexpectedly, Robinson turned out to admit this. However, Robinson argued that he had done the right thing to protect the country and asked him not to interfere. An angry and disappointed Travis then decided to resign right away. Elsewhere, Mira looks furious when she knows Drew has published her story about Crane and his mysterious death without her permission. Even though Mira never intended to publish it because she was worried about the safety of many people, including herself. However, Drew doesn't seem to have thought about the consequences of his actions. That night, on the way home, Drew was followed by a black SUV and was killed by two FBI agents who killed Crane after a car accident. At Robinson's orders, Drew's death appears as if it were an accident rather than a premeditated murder. After knowing of Drew's death, Mira is increasingly convinced that there is a big conspiracy behind the deaths of Sophia, Crane, and Drew. She assumes that Robinson is the mastermind behind the murder and is the leader of the Unity operation. However, her best friend, Sarah, asked her not to continue the investigation further because it could endanger her own life. Meanwhile, Travis tries to reach Amanda elsewhere, but there's no answer. Feeling worried, he rushed to Amanda's house, and sure enough, his daughter and granddaughter were not at home, and the CCTV camera in the house had been tampered with. He then called the hospital where Amanda worked and Natalie's school, but did not get any information about the whereabouts of his family. Travis then went to see Robinson and asked about the whereabouts of his daughter and granddaughter. But Robinson pretended he didn't know anything and denied it all, and threatened Travis back if he still got in his way. Travis then made it clear to Robinson that he would take revenge if he was really involved in Travis's family and would not forgive him for it. In the evening, Travis meets with Mira, who asks him to make a statement that can reveal the crimes committed by Robinson. However, he said they needed accurate evidence to put Robinson in jail. It wasn't enough just to make statements. Therefore, they needed Crane's flash drive, which Robinson's men took. Travis then remembered the safe at Robinson's house and felt sure that Robinson must have kept the flash drive in there. Travis rushed back to the house to get his gun ready. However, at the same time, Jordan and Wallace arrive there and have been ordered to kill him. However, Travis had already anticipated the attack, so he could dodge it and detonate their car then drive away. He rushed to Robinson's house and forced him to hand over Crane's flash drive. When Travis checked the files stored on the flash drive, Robinson sneakily slipped away from there and ordered his men to kill Travis. Knowing this, Travis immediately devised a plan to deal with them by locking the door, turning off the lights and making puddles. He could easily knock down Robinson's men and rush away from there. After that, Mira went to Travis' hiding location, where they then tried to dig up information about the actions of the Unity operation that Crane had collected. They find a videotaped confession of Crane, who was assigned to spy on Sophia. However, he turns out to be in love with her. Robinson, knowing this, decides to kill Sophia for fear that Crane will leak the Unity operation to her. Crane, who finally found out about this, felt very angry and decided to defect and determined to take revenge on Robinson for killing the one he loved. A few days later, Travis disguises himself as a driver and urges Robinson to turn himself in and confess to all his crimes and reveal the whereabouts of Travis's family. However, Robinson managed to escape, and there was a shootout between the two of them before Travis managed to paralyze him and force him to do whatever he wanted. With the help of Travis, Mira finally managed to uncover all of Robinson's crimes and the actions of the Unity operation, which had killed many innocent people. After that, Robinson was finally tried with a sentence commensurate with his crime. Travis finally managed to find Amanda and Natalie in one of the witness shelters and held captive on Robinson's orders. Amanda looks so happy, because finally, Travis managed to save her and her daughter. She then apologizes to him, reconciles with her father, and accepts him back into her and Natalie's life. Travis finally got his wish to retire and spend his old age with his beloved family. The moral that can be learned from this movie is that a father's love will never go away, even if his daughter hates him and says that she doesn't want to see him anymore, because a father will do whatever it takes to protect and save his family from any threat.